Hello, welcome to New Meta Podcast, episode 126, classic episode. We'll be talking about position 5. This is a position that I've been thinking a fair bit about recently because I've had to farm some ranked tokens, which always sucks, so I'd best know what I'm doing, at least to a certain extent, and what heroes and what to do and all that. Marco, welcome. How are you doing?
Doing good. Thank you.
You said before we recorded you wouldn't be able to contribute to this anymore because now that you're officially no longer a 5.
Yeah, dusted my hands of the 5 duties. It's more efficient to play 1-2. Big news for me, honestly, is getting a rank back on my badge. I wasn't sure when that was going to happen. And so when it kind of did out of nowhere, I genuinely really chuffed about that. So that's kind of good news of the last week.
Yeah, amazing. And you managed to get Dynamic, big friend of the pods, to queue all roles so that you would get, or you queued all roles, he queued position 1, and then you swapped. So you were getting tokens for playing carry. So yeah, that's an abuse of the system. That's an Overwatch coming to an Overwatch near you.
Yeah, that was kind of him. That game was sad. I played really poorly. I'd played a few party games the day before, and I was off it. I was so disappointed in my PA that game. I've not made that many stakes in weeks, honestly. It haunted me. And it reaffirmed everything we said in our EP 125 about how crap POS 3s are. Yeah. That just got completely hammered home, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, Adam, likewise, welcome to the pod. You have to carry us in this episode, if you pardon the pun, when we talk about POS 5s, now that Marco's abandoned ship. So I hope you're up for the task.
I'll hold the line. The final paragon of supporting on the pod, I'll do it. I second the poor 3s in games because we just had a bad one in our game.
If you did a survey, or maybe not even a survey, just a statistical analysis, just went deep into the data and looked at every pub win that's ever happened and then kind of ranked each position by impact and value attributed to the game, for sure POS 3's bottom.
Really?
At least in the higher, at least in kind of above like the 75 percentile games, perhaps I can say. I can't really say anything else about the others, but in these kind of high level pubs, party ranks and stuff like this, POS 3 is just fucking hopeless. Having said that,
I feel like most people would say carry, probably.
They fucking carry the game every game.
Yeah, I don't know. This reminds me, actually, that we left last episode on a bit of a cliffhanger, promising to talk about the kinds of people that play each role, just so we could make sure we were insulting everyone. And POS 3 is sort of the quintessential position that makes me think about this question, because I can sort of understand the kind of person that wants to play 1 or 2 or 4, or even 4 and 5, but 3 is just a weird one. It's in the middle. What kind of person plays 3? I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know what the most popular or common roles are. It seems that, because it's so hard to know because you only ever know your own games and history and super finite pool of games. So I search ranked and I never get POS 1. I always get POS 2. I found that quite surprising. Searching 1-2, I would have thought it'd be kind of equal, but from the frequency of getting 2 over POS 1, POS 1 must be really popular. But it'd be interesting to know what it was like at other ranks. And then POS 3, to be honest, in my experience of going all roles was most often POS 3, so again, that suggests not many POS 3 lovers out there. So maybe it is, just in the middle. No, it's not really got its own niche, it's just unloved.
Yeah, someone needs to get on POS 3, sort them out, get the position in order. Maybe that's how you climb. You just search POS 3. But I did, to be fair, I did try that, and then Underlord was banned, and then I didn't know what to do at that point. I wasn't really sure what I was meant to do. Just walking around trying to play like some Slardar or Bat Rider or something, just feeling awkward.
On the POS 3, having done that episode and then listened to some of it, then watched Alliance OG. I think it was Alliance OG, a really, really good series, particularly for Alliance fan. Was it? I'm sure it was OG 2-0 Smash. And there was a game where S4 played Beastmaster and was about 12-0 at 15 minutes in the game, just omega carried the game from the 3. And it's just funny to talk and bash on the POS 3s and then see, okay, if you want to play 3 and win a game and carry single-handedly, this is how it's done at the highest level. And it was really impressive. And people might say, oh, Cortal's just feeding him. What's going on? Like, oh, he was just getting so many kills, solo kills, just constant kill a minute kind of thing. But it also comes back to, well, he's in the right place at the right time. He's moving in the right areas. He's threatening in the right areas. You can do lots on the 3, and
he's pressing raw. He's pressing necrobook.
Yeah, he's not doing mechanically anything that extreme. He's just making the perfect movements with his hero and units, and he got a kill a minute. Like, it's possible to do work. So go check it out if you want to see a POS 3 masterclass.
Yeah. Well, let's before we lose all of our offlane listeners, let's maybe throw some shade at some other positions. What's the biggest like mental or Dota leak, as in negative, of each position? Because I feel like carries, are they the position most likely to tilt off, or is that mids? Like, which positional players have the most fragile mental state? What's your opinion on that, Adam? Because you play support, so I feel like you're in the clear for this one.
I've seen every position lose it. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Have you seen a POS 5 lose it?
Yeah. Although
I've seen POS 5 lose it many times.
It's not as common, I will say. And then it's like, what are they going to do? They walk down middle, or they buy some wards and put them in the wrong spot and spam them.
They can't feed your courier anymore because everyone's got their own.
Right. It's really tough between 1 and 2. I feel like when maybe I'll say mid.
That is
having
interesting. Having
climbed up through the ranks, having first started playing, there was a lot of no one's ganking for me, I need help mid type of stuff going on.
It's funny because position 1 has a laning partner, and I feel like that's such a potential source of tilt. That is true. If your laning partner's just not on the same page as you, or just playing bad.
I've been yelled at a lot throughout the years. Of just like, what are you doing over here? Just leave. Just get away. What are you doing?
Yeah,
and then you leave, and they're like, I'm all alone. I can't do anything.
Yeah, 1s and 2s probably have the monopoly on tilting off, or not the monopoly, but the advantage. But every position is liable. What position do you think hates the other position the most? And this is just some fluff chat right here, so apologise. We'll get to some actual relevant Dota conversations shortly, but because I find myself as a mid, I'm always just hating on my carry a lot, because I guess I feel like I deserve to be carried just for sort of playing well for like 15 minutes. But what is that different from when you play other roles a lot? Because especially you, Marco, you played like a lot of Dota with a lot of different roles. Whereas I feel like 80% of my games are mid or something. So I have such a shoehorned position that I don't know what it's like to inhabit this otherworldly position on the map in these side lanes, and I don't know what your game looks like and who you end up hating. Evidently 3s, I guess. I don't know why I'm asking you.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking about if I'm a 1, 2, POS 4 or POS 5, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably the 3 every time that winds me up the most. Because if I'm a 1, I don't know, usually the 2, if it's party or if it's solo rank, the 2 is always going to be a good player or it's going to be someone like you. That was not meant to be flame. Like,
or it's going to be someone like
you. No, I mean, accidental flame. It's going to be someone reliable. So the 2s always kind of fit the bill, and if I'm playing 2, you can't really complain about the 1 the one, unless they're just really bad or play a really poor game, you can't really flame them for doing their game, just hitting creeps, trying the best. It's not really, one's pretty basic. Or if I'm then the support, I feel like the 2 and 1 always try and do stuff. Sometimes you get that griefy 2, like Adam's mentioned, but really, they seem to try quite hard. And it just comes back to the 3 not playing the role or not pulling the weight. Like if I think about playing ranked, it's never like the 1 or 2 under-deliver consistently, but as we've said, the 3 under-delivers consistently. Yeah, maybe that's it. Or
we tried to flame
or to move away from the 3s, because maybe it's getting a bit of a meme. Maybe the 4s, because sometimes the 4s can be the most selfish in my eyes in terms of play style and game style, and particularly in ranked games. It's like we need to be cohesive, we need to be on this kind of trying to play together, trying to win, and I feel like the 4 does attract that very selfish player sometimes who just wants to do their own thing or doesn't really care for the team. Often the 4 is kind of griefy because you'll just queue or roll, say, or I don't know, I feel like the 4 is often someone who's a bit loose in the head and just wants to play an unranked game, but in ranked, and it can fuck you up a bit. So
yeah, I can agree with that.
Throw some shade onto the 4.
Wow, so it's 3 people doing a Dota podcast, none of them main 4 or 3, shitting on 4 and 3. Who could have seen that coming? Yeah, that's very surprising.
It is hard though, because when you play just say 2, it rules out you saying 2. Because you've never had the experience of not being 2. So if I'm playing 1, 2, 5, that's where we're ended up. I'm never going to flame the positions I play.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Well, I don't think it's fair, actually. It's very unfair, but there you are. That's the way we feel. Yeah. That's Dota for you. Let's do games then, briefly, and then talk about other things. Juggernaut on the menu, and then position 5. Adam, we played a game earlier. How have your games been?
Well, that was pretty much the only game this week, so
yay for internet.
It was like the last game. Oh no, I blocked this game entirely out of my memory. This other one. I played 2 games this week. One with you, that was like last week where we got ahead and then we lost. I don't know if you call it a feed, because it gets hard once 4 position Nature's Prophets just get the big treants, and then they just split push the entire game. They don't care if they die, and it works. No, Marco and I played a game.
Did we?
Against Wagamama.
Oh yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah, we got farmed for YouTube content.
I was going to ask, what's your take on that? Because Adam's going to throw, I imagine, some kind of defeatist negative view on that game, and I'm going to say something different. How did you find it?
I thought that game, we should have won it.
Yeah, good.
It should have been.
I can feel the tenseness.
Should have been 100% in the bag, but it felt like it was a guaranteed loss.
Yeah, I think our team really... If our team was, say, a 5-stack or just PMA, it is ours for the taking. It could have been so easy, I think. I was flying as a jug. The Wagamama is matching me. If you look at the graphs, we're always the highest net worth, flying away from everyone.
Playing here?
Mid-Shadow Shaman.
Mid-Shadow Shaman. So
that's YouTube content right there.
Yeah. But it's also like, they have a win condition. We know what it is from minute 0. It is many Raster Worlds planted in our base and buildings are taken. Okay, it's very obvious what they need to do, so it should be obvious what we need to do. But because there was so much internal conflict and comms and flamey, I had to mute everyone. I'm sweating, trying hard, farming.
Yeah. You need to get scouted on the YouTube vid.
Yeah, get fucking scouted.
Luckily, it isn't up.
I don't know. It was so in the bag. We had a mid Pango that just did not feel like making mid plays. We had a pos 3 Veno, which, to be honest, is I mean, our view of Pos 3 is so low that we just assume that the Pos 3 Venno is going to be completely useless, which is the case, but the mid Pango could have done so much more. All I needed was this +1 in a side lane to blow up any hero. I'm strong, I'm fat. They've got a fucking mid-raster. It's not hard to just blow someone up, and the team was just completely out of it, so eventually, because we don't make any plays, we let ourselves get raster warded and buildings go.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think we have... They have like 4 cores and we have 1.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, they have an off-lane Wind Ranger, Bell Miku, level 25 Wind Ranger, so of course, you know, she knows how to play that hero. We get I mean, that's from the 3 at Giga Farmed. We have a mid Shadow Shaman with Octarine Core, Ags, Refresher, Shadowblade, Spell Prism. And they have an Ursa who we dumpstered on, but he's even with you in farm, and then a 4 Luna with an Ags. Like,
yeah, that's only because right at the end.
And then a 5 Phoenix.
Yeah, the stats look bad because right at the end of the game we've all died and they've got all the buildings and stuff. But in terms of what was it, a 45-minute game? For 40 minutes, all we needed was to be really tempo, make pickoffs here and there, which we could have, and to just delay them, and I could snowball them. With +1, +2 support, I can out-carry them, because they've got just a raster. Like, the Ursa got farmed. I mean, he never got farmed. Versa was shit. We crapped on him all game. But there was too much internal fighting. The Pango, just to sum it up, Pango's got 12 kills plus assists in a 45-minute game as the mid-tempo hero. This is not acceptable. Also, involvement every 4 minutes.
Crimson Guard is not the build.
I don't mind the Blink or the Maelstrom.
The Crimson
Guard, I mean, what's the point?
Goes in opposite directions of what you want to do.
Yeah, what's the point? But 1 involvement every 4 minutes, you can
protect buildings. He knew the win condition. Use Crimson on the building.
That's not the win condition. I mean, what? Yeah, 12 in 45 minutes, so you can just go fucking.
It's just crazy that we won. I'm not flaming this Pango for losing to a Wagamama mid, but we win the side lanes both hard. Like, the enemy safe lane is a combined... They, have 7 deaths in the laning stage. Between the Phoenix and the Ursa. Ursa dies 5 times, and Rage buys back. And we're still down 2,000 gold at the end of the laning stage. Despite winning both side lanes, because YouTube content needed to be farmed.
Yeah, Wagger is a pretty high rank player, so he's going to slap mid, but it's just the fact that Pango doesn't try to do anything from 10 minutes on. Like, you just assume you're going to lose the lane if you're unranked immortal versus 3-digit immortal. But the fact that the Pango didn't try and win, because everyone was just bickering, made it a loss.
Yeah. Whoa.
I had totally blanked that game. Whew.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
Mark, have you got anything else to report?
I'll report more Void Spirit wins. I did lose a unranked Void Spirit, but I won a ranked Void Spirit, obviously. Looking at your match history, the one hater of my Void Spirit loses a Void Spirit.
I got called a Smurf in that game. I was pulling away.
Oh, that was great. Stan got called either an account buyer, a booster, or a Smurf. Like, that's what they said with backslashes in between. It's like, Void Spirit account is a booster / Smurf / account buyer. Kill yourself. That's what the guy said.
That's some good praise, but you got to convert it to a green.
And that's from the guy on the other team that won the game, and he's telling Stan to do that.
What happened honestly, I couldn't. What lost us the game is me not being able to click the ground, almost, because I bought a rapier. And then I was having so much fun, Marco. You know when you get the crit talent at 25? So I had the crit talent at 25, and I had Daedalus, Deso, Rapier, Shivas. I was just like, just 2 shotting heroes with 2 slices. It's like an anime. I'm like an anime character, literally just and then dead. Anyway, I lose Rapier. That's bad. And then I kill
let's just get past that point.
The Hoodwink has the Rapier. and I kill the hoodwink. I have BKB. I BKB. I'm like trying to click the ground to get this rapier, and I can't get it, and so I start running away.
It's in the dire trees on the right hand side.
Like, it's in it. There's also a
dire
sprout.
Bottom tier 2. Yeah, it's like impossible to find out where it dropped.
We couldn't see it because it's covered in trees and it's covered in sprouts. So I'm just like madly clicking on the ground trying to pick it up, and then BKB still trying to pick it up. And in the end, I'm like, well, I'm going to die if I stay here. I just have to abandon ship, and then I still die trying to get out. So if I'd managed to pick up the rapier straight away, we're straight back in the game. But I was flying this game on Void Spirit. Actually made me think I could get it back out in the ranks, maybe.
Yeah, sounds like it went well. Until the rapier.
Did go well, yeah, until later in the game. But as we discussed, position 3 Mars in a 55-minute game, no blink on Mars, versus Weaver, Nature's Prophet, Dark Willow, and Hoodwink, who are all just blink spear equals dead.
I mean, why has he got a pipe at 25 rather than a BKB?
He's got no blink.
I guess you get pipe for Willow or Mines?
Techies?
Mines, but like...
That's not how you counter Techie Mines, is it? It's not like you go,
I know.
Hold hands, everyone, I'll press pipe and we run into the high ground.
Yeah.
Now, what I thought was funny about that game was after when I said, I just said that like Deso wasn't needed, and he was all like, I got my Deso 4 minutes before the Void Spirit did, so don't even try that. And then you look at the item build, and it's the reason yours is 4 minutes later is because you have an Orchid.
Yeah.
Like, in between it. You have 16-minute Orchid, 20-minute Deso, and he has 15-minute Naked Deso. It's like, one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah. Well, that was an unfortunate game. In terms of my games, just to go briefly, I'm recording on the back of a 66-minute ranked loss with Pugnus, so if you can hear me crying through my voice, that's why. Although I still have a 2-game cushion for party ranked, but if I lose my next ranked, then I've got a super tense game to...
What percent are you then?
It's going to be rough now. 21%.
It's not too rough.
Not too rough. I was 66, but there you go. In other news, though, I didn't even realise this. Meepo flying. I'm on a 13 win streak on Meepo. I didn't even realise. And I'm on 8. I'm 8-0 in rounds. So this is since I started playing the hero again. I haven't lost on Meepo in 5 months. Didn't even know that. So now I know that. Obviously, I'm going to lose my next game because I was just, ignorance is bliss. Just play Meepo. Oh yeah, play Meepo, no pressure. You win. Now I know I've got this big win streak going. Obviously, it's guaranteed loss. Yeah. I also tried to do mid Grimstroke yesterday, which didn't go well. Every single time I try and do like a funky mid hero and unranked that's like a bit memey. I'm always against Queen of Pain mid, and it's the most triggering thing ever. I'm never against Queen of Pain in ranked games or when I'm playing like some of my better heroes, but as soon as I try and do something fun, it's always Queen of Pain, and I always just get wrecked, and that's what happened here, and then I was really sad about it. I don't have much else to report, just more crying about Dota 2 on this everyone's favourite Dota 2 podcast. Marco, you wanted to have a little fireside chat everyone's favourite carry, Juggernaut.
Not too. We don't need to chat too much because we've been going a little while. It's more an observation and then a thought. So I watched a couple YouTube vids. One which was a paparazzi Jug, and one which was a SCCC Jug. Because Jug's hero I do often play unranked, but I was thinking, if I was to put this into a ranked game, how should it go? So I'm just kind of keen to educate myself, as lots of us are. And there's a really big difference in early game item progression. So one of them goes Orb of Venom in the lane, followed it up with Brown Boots into Windlace into Power Treads, Battle Fury, and then into Mantarags. Whereas in the other game, someone, I think it was Paparazzi, goes Phase. Doesn't get, I don't think he even bothers with a Windlace this game, or an Orb of Venom. Goes Phase, Maelstrom, then Manta, then Ags. And then they both go kind of similar, like Butterflies, Abyssals, mid-late game items. But I've always thought, like, yeah, Phase does feel nice for laning because it tanks you up a bit, but then it is worse for farming because you don't have as much attack speed, and Jug loves the attack speed for Omnislash, loves it for the passive just in farming. And then one of them goes Maelstrom, and it was clearing creeps quite well, and there was, I think, like a Furion or some kind of hero with units on the enemy team, and the Maelstrom seemed to do fine. It seemed to farm these, but obviously it's not kind of as powerful or as greedy as a Battle Fury. I think the Battle Fury game, the person did get Maelstrom eventually for the Ag Shard and then for the Mjolnir attack speed, because that is a really big synergy these days. But very different build-ups, those early game items. So I wondered what just you two thought, what you would think's best, or what you would do personally, or when you would go Battle Fury or don't go Battle Fury.
Adam, do you have thoughts on this?
I think you go in if you can get it at a reasonable time. I don't like Phase Battle Fury. I understand why sometimes you have to do it, but I don't like it because you have to, like, you need attack speed to make your ult and your farming work. So,
okay.
Phase is like, I don't know, like Phase Yasha Maelstrom or something.
I think you went Phase Maelstrom, then Yasha. I think that was Paparazzi, which I thought was interesting because, yeah, it sounds very different to...
So, for me, I would prefer PT to Phase, just in general, because I feel like I'm better at getting value from the PT, just because attack speed's easy, because I'm going to be farming a lot, and I won't necessarily play to the limit of Phase Boots versus PT, if you know what I mean. You mentioned being stronger in the lane, maybe being stronger in skirmishy situations, because you have more, you tanked up with the armor and stuff. I don't play Jug enough to notice that, so, and therefore, like, get good value out of it, so I'd always, I guess, play safe with that choice and go PT, unless I really felt I needed Phase for some reason, like, I can't think what that would be. I guess if I really wanted to crush the lane, and I felt like the enemy offlaner couldn't easily just jungle or rotate, and I just wanted to, crush the lane and end the offlaner's game. But then beyond that, I'd consider Maelstrom and then looking to Mjolnir if I was against illusions. Particularly, I'm thinking PL, Naga. Otherwise, I'd probably
Nature's
go...
Prophet.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet. Yeah, Nature's Prophet as well, yeah. And I know Battle Fury is very good against illusions as well. Particularly something like Nature's Prophet when they're all summons. But I feel like Mjolnir is a bit better when you're being attacked by tons of illusions, i.e. with Naga and particularly with PL. I mean, everyone knows Mjolnir's great against PL. So that would be my calculation, and I just think about it in the strategy time. Once the game starts, I'd probably stick to my plan. I don't know. I don't think that's optimal. That's just me as like a bad carry player.
Yeah, just thinking about the two games in my head, I think Adams hits it with if you can get Battle Fury decent timing, then go for it. And the game, I think it was SCCC, did get a mega fast Battle Fury, even though enemy team had a PL. But it was, mega fast Battle Fury, then kind of standard Yasha, Manta, Ags, then maybe back to the Maelstrom, Mjolnir. But was able to get Battle Fury fast and able to then fight, because then the Yasha's up fast, and it was just a crazy snowball game, whereas Paparazzi, just trying to remember it probably more, you need the Maelstrom because the timing's slower, and if you're too slow with your Battle Fury, and you can't involve yourself in fights enough, maybe, too detrimental. But then, yeah, interesting the boots difference. I often get phase on Jug. I don't know why. I feel like for them...
Because you can spin.
Yeah, but then you get Windlace. But yeah, the spin phase, it is nice, but the Windlace is very nice. I think the Windlace is core, to be honest.
If you go Power Treads, you're so slow.
Yeah, that's what I've always fucking hated.
But if you go phase, you attack so slow.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a trade-off. And I don't know, Battle Fury is so good if you have somebody that stacks for you, but if you don't have anyone that stacks for you, I don't know about it. I mean, the region's nice, but you're probably better served for a Maelstrom just at all stages of the game, because you need the triple stack Ancients or the jungle path to need to be stacked for it to make any difference.
That's an interesting point. You actually don't get more value from Battle Fury unless there's camps. That's an interesting
Joe
way to
can always
look at it.
spin on a camp, but I don't know. Just any Battle Fury hero benefits from the stacks to such a large degree that's kind of why the Ancients is such a big deal.
That's a classic trench Jug move, is using your level 2 spin on the lane to clear a hard camp and just tanking half your HP and then waddling back to the lane.
Then it's down for 30 seconds or something because it's level 2 spin.
And you've just nuked half your HP, so you're just screwed in the lane. That's the classic move.
So you drop your... I guess this would be... Let's say you're level 4, because then you get a point in Healing Word and you drop that and then you have no mana.
Yeah.
You're a Jug. Yep.
This guy plays Jug.
That's a nice thing about the Battle Fury, that the mana is a bit better. I'm watching these two little YouTube videos. They would very often use Blade Fury in the early game for farm, because, say you want to just nuke a wave at 7 minutes, creep wave, you've got a Blade Fury and then move. And yeah, that's common.
Is it just me? I'm sure there's a Juggernaut voice line when you use spin and he goes, Battle Fury! He doesn't say Blade Fury.
That's funny.
I'm positive. I'm hoping someone's going to pop up on the Discord and back me up, but I'm going to be sad when they don't. I'm so sure about that. And I always wondered, but alas. Position 5. According to DPC pick rates and Dota 2 Pro Tracker, we see a sort of mix of position 5s, and the reason I say that is because no 5s dominate the picking rate. This is on Dota 2 Pro Tracker, so just to run through quickly, before you get to an out-and-out POS 5, you've got to go through Void Spirit, Puck, Odie, Batrider, Pango, Nyx, Earth Spirit, Mars, Mirana, Rubik, which we'll see some players 5, Monkey King, Ricky, and then you land at Crystal Maiden. So long gone are the days when you used to see Bane crushing pick rates, or other heroes that have been super strong in the past and just picked as first pick potential. It's a little bit different in DPC because obviously there's bans and stuff, so you've got to look at contested rates. But first, before we go on to that, just in terms of pubs, do you get that impression, either of you, that the 5 is sort of, there's no dominating picks, or in your view, is there just crushing POS 5s that are first pick and the hero you want to be first picking?
No.
Pick anything.
There's a lot of bans now, right? So admittedly, I have not been able to watch a lot of DPC. But there's more bans, right?
Yes, there's 6 bans in total. No, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There's 7 on each side?
Yeah, 7, well.
I'm not seeing a lot of... so I'm on the EU league, and there's not a lot of 5s that are getting banned. You know what I mean? So it's all Lycan and Puck and Batrider and Nyx Assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like there is a go-to 5. And is there ever really... I mean, I'm trying to think... What have been go-to 5s? Yeah, VP picked Bane a lot, but that's because Solo is a god.
Yeah, Bane was a crushing POS 5 for a while. Even in the pub metagame, it was picked up a lot. I think Undying, sometimes the pros really rate the Undying hero in the past. Snapfire 5's been super popular for a while, obviously.
Is Coddle a 5?
Yeah, Coddle does get played as 5.
I think Coddle's really hot in the pro scene for
because Coddle's number 4 on the EU picks.
Yeah, I think and it's nothing new that Coddle is hot in the pro scene because of that global mobility and the team coordination and what you can get out of that is, if you're well versed in the hero and its kit, you can get so much value at a team level. In pubs, it's a bit harder to execute, but in pubs and then in pro games, very much the stacking potential of Coddle is.
Yeah,
I mean, lots of heroes can do, say, a triple stack. Coddle's probably one of your easiest or one of the best. I mean, the fact it's a fast hero, for example, is a really big selling point for these stacking heroes. Like, if you're a CM, you can't walk from one camp to an X and get these multiple stacks off as easily.
You can get a double with a right-click pull and then a Crystal Nova, and you feel like
half your mana pool. I mean, yeah, it's so expensive. Well, Coddle is really good at stacking. That is one of its high points, and then that global mobility. It's so good in the pro scene. Yeah, for those reasons.
Yeah, I will say Coddle is back to... This is like TI3 Coddle, when it was pick banned every game. Like, with the old new ult, where you drag people across the map.
Yeah.
Like, that and IO were like the kings of that IO Batrider were banned every game. And there were only 4 first phase bans, and those 3 were auto banned every game.
What I think happens a lot in the pro scene as well, and I don't think this has trickled into pubs because it's too unconventional, but these really strong meta heroes, so I'm thinking your Nyx Assassin, your Puck. So Puck is someone which has seen obviously a lot of mid, can see it in the 3, but also gets picked up as a 5. Nyx, mainly 4, but also 3, but now you see both of these as 5s, and I think because their kits are so strong in these pro games, it doesn't need to be a conventional 5. They know how to play with unconventional 5s that aren't just going to do kind of standard supporty stuff. They just go, it's an OP hero, put it on the 5, and they don't need gold. They just do massive impact regardless. And like Puppy playing his Puck, or you see loads of 5 Nyxes these days. Why bother making it a 4 when we just need it for its one item? Maybe it's a 4.5, but you know what I mean. It's a bit more flexible. Yeah. Whereas the pub meta's still pretty dominated by, it's a standard CM, maybe Oracle at the higher levels, standard Jakiro, nothing really unconventional.
Yeah. For pubs then, from our perspective, is Coddle the go-to POS 5 if you were going to advise someone? Because the recall ability obviously is quite hard to use, and it's balanced around how good it is at the pro scene, not how good it is in pubs, how useful it's going to be to you. Or do you see some of these other
hero?
Popular?
Yeah, stay away from Coddle.
Other hero. It's the reason why IO's a god and no one plays it in pubs. Because tethering someone and relocating requires speaking on the mic.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Keeper, dragging someone across the map.
Yeah.
It requires thought and planning. Although people can pick that hero, you can pick Keeper. I think Keeper's easier than IO to pick, and you just eschew the recall, and you just pump mana into someone, and you can still make that work. Pump mana into, Sven's not a thing, but like Bristleback, or I don't know, a Timbersaw, or just a Mars, something.
Yeah. Chakra Magic's an unbelievably good spell. People don't buy mana, people don't manage their mana pools well in pubs. How many times have we played games where if you just had Chakra Magic, you'd be flying? I've played Coddle, and I'm always amazed by how much value I feel like I'm giving just by Chakra Magic.
That Sand King game you played when you went bots first, and instead of like TPing in and not having any mana, you just got a little Chakra Magic right before you complete your TP.
Maybe what POS 3s should play in pubs is a Cottle, and they'll bring so much value, and they'll detract from nothing because the baseline
is
no value
Ags.
anyway.
They'll push out lanes and get Ags and just do the Ignis Fatuus.
And give mana.
And
Maybe.
Give mana.
No, it's the 3. They'll just play in side lanes and never go to where you are.
They'll use chakras 0 times.
All I'm going to say is, I haven't lost a game on Keeper of the Light.
Wow.
I've won all my Cottle games, and that includes 2 ranked games of Keeper of the Light.
So how many total? 3 games total?
3 games total.
I know that on ranked.
3 wins.
I know that on ranked. That was a Ricky game. You did well that game. But that was
that's nice. That's
a
good That's a good hero because Ricky gets so many blink strikes and smoke clouds.
That was like a 3 kills a minute kind of game.
God, I played a ranked Keeper of the Light. Oh, I played a ranked Keeper of the Light with Adam back in the day. This is 2018. How did we manage that?
Wow.
And look at all these ranks. Wow. Well done, Adam.
That was not even
ascended.
Chakra Magic. That is different Chakra Magic. Not cooldown reduction Chakra Magic. Chakra Magic that costs mana for Keeper to use.
This is a mid AA Adam, and me playing Keeper of the Light. This is real Dota right here. Hex, E-Blade, Ags, Refresher Shard, Kaya, Yasha on Adam. Wow, what a game!
Dang. With Keeper, what was I going to? Oh, I've seen. We talked about stacking. I played a game with the 5-stack one time, and when they just it was one of those RD2L stacks, and they're just like, okay, Keeper, you're just going to stack the entire game. And I saw an offlane Sand King get 800, 900 GPM just from just Caustic and the Sandstorm and just stacks, and he was the most farmed hero in the game. He was more farmed than the enemy team's anti-mage by a large degree. And it's just the power of stacks.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, pick Keeper of the Light, forget about Recall, use Chakra Magic, maybe forget about Blinding Light as well. I know I've had some poor Blinding Lights to save
Blinding Light
is
a grief spell, but if you're against a physical team, it's a great spell.
Hmm.
The blind's great.
Yeah, for sure. Looking to the NA DPC, the 3rd most picked hero is our friend Witch Doctor, which is quite remarkable actually because he's not very near the top of the other regions I've looked at, although admittedly I've only just peeked at CIS and C. So Witch Doctor, this is a much more pub-friendly hero, and I've been playing a bit of Witch Doctor recently as well actually. Marco, what's your thoughts on Witch Doctor? Is this is this the best 5 to play in pubs?
Is it the best 5? It feels like it's very popular at the moment. I'm just going to have a look at the changelog to see if there's been anything drastically improved. And
so he's only been banned 5 times. So it's like one of those heroes that's not worth banning, but it trickles to the top.
I think he's one that's
been picked 21 times, banned 5 times. That's
he got his paralyzing cast in 7.25, got a really nice mana buff, 30 less mana at level 1. But to me, it seems like this hero it's just gone under the radar for ages. It's got a bit more traction with this shard being quite cool. It's not made the hero great or good. It's neutral, but it's slowly come about. Oh wait, Doc as a 5 is a really good laner. Is really strong if you get your levels in the Maledict, and it's now got popularity. I don't think it's a really great pub hero. I think it's a good 5 if you play it quite a bit and you're switched on in the lane and you can really abuse positioning with the cask. You can get a lot of work done, but as a general, who should I play if I'm POS 5? Maybe a bit harder to execute than the average 5.
Yeah. Maledict is very nasty in some, it's very interesting that he's like a safe lane kill hero. He is, yeah. He's an aggressive support, as opposed to a lot of these 5s that are more defensive or or focusing on other things. It's like, no, you just kind of walk up from a tree, get that cask bounce to set up your Maledict, and then someone ticks out hard.
Yeah.
Also, a big part of hit Doc strength is when you're laning versus a strength melee hero. That is when Doc is at his true power, because you abuse the Maledict and cask.
Yeah.
1,000,000% more if you're against a melee hero. So, I can see that in not pubs, pro scene happening where it's a good pick because of that situation. In pubs, maybe half the time it's great, half the time it's just neutral, but that's a massive factor when you want to pick Doc.
Just to go into some of the pub win rates, it's interesting to see it's got, as you'd expect, very high pick rates across all levels. 18% in Herald, Guardian and Crusader. But the win rate's actually very poor, so it's 50% in Herald, Guardian, Crusader, and then as soon as you escape, it just goes into negative and doesn't look back. So 49% Archon, Legend again, 49%, Ancient, 48%, and then Divine Plus, 46.5%, and then Dota 2 Pro Tracker, 44%, so presumably that's top Immortal games. And that's across 900 games in the last week in 7k plus games. So the hero gets worse and worse. So I feel like maybe I'm being debated by Maledict and Cask and kill potential by the hero.
He's got no wave clear.
Yeah.
He's made out of paper. He can't farm. Like, he's got, Ags is great. Like, Ags BKB, like, all this stuff is great, but how does he get there? He doesn't really get there, and like, he gets sneezed on and he explodes. And I think that maybe the switcheroo is nice, just that you can get off a longer duration of your ult, because a lot of times you just get focused and it doesn't go off, and it's kind of like a tombstone where you have to have a really good positioning to be able to throw it out and not just immediately get destroyed. But
I think
that's probably why it's as worse as you go up, because they, everyone kind of knows what to do.
Yeah, I think in the pro scene you could say its pick rate is validated by being well-rounded. It has got these strong aspects. It's got these weaknesses like the wave clear say, but a pro team's not gonna be hurt by that. They'll account for it. And they'll fit the 5 into the draft. And the pub scene is maybe, I guess, overpicked or picked in these unfavourable situations, and so it does a bit of naff. Yeah.
There's a lot of ground targeted stun too, right now. That's popular. Nyx Assassin.
Yeah. As opposed to like a
point, like targeted.
Void Spirit.
Yeah, just stuff where maybe even if you are in the trees, it's like, oh, I'll just, I don't have to see the Witch Doctor to stun the area where I think he is.
It feels like the 5 it's probably always going to be quite stable. There's not ever really a hero that's, apart from the pro scene, there might be a few really strong heroes like Io Kotl, but in the pub scene, it always feels like it was a bit of a freak period when we had that Bane, crazy good win rate on Bane last patch. Aside from that, you never see any of them sticking their heads up that high, and I guess it's because they're never going to be able to be broken in a pub.
Yeah, it's interesting. You never see any hero, I can't remember the phrase you use, but stick above the crowd or whatever. And you never really see any popular supports really fall away. It's very stable, probably more than any other position. It's very stable. CM's always being picked. Witch Doctor's always being picked, and then you take it from there.
Oracle, Ogre, Lich.
Oracle, Bane,
They've all got very high, stable.
It's just like, what are you going to do? It's not like they get a changelog update and it's like, oh, I can play this as a 3 or a 1 now. As some of these other heroes that kind of dip down as a 5 and then they go back to where they originally were. It's like, no, what are you going to do to Crystal Maiden to make it to where people consistently want to play that? Anything else but support.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious when you look at the Dota buff meta pick win rates and you've got Rubik and Mars, about 90% pick rate, just under 48% win rate. And then you go to Nyx, who's got the same pick rate, but the win rate jumps up about 7.5%.
Yeah, it's bonkers that Mars is picked that much. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's so popular. So popular.
That's a good hero.
Yeah, I guess, but it's clearly overpicked and underperforms.
Amazing to see Ricky in the top 5 most picked in Divine Plus. That's crazy.
And yeah, the Ricky Wraith King are like, and the Monkey are such, on trend right now.
Yeah.
I did watch, sure. Was it OG against Alliance? I watched that series, or a Noob from UA highlight, and the mid one was Ricky.
With the rapiers and the base race.
And they lost. They got mega creeped at like 23 minutes or 25 minutes. Like, okay, this game's over. It's like, no, here comes the Ricky with the Ags Daedalus rapier. And like, how do you deal with it? And they almost didn't deal with it. It was very tense.
Pos 5 F and G, Fury on Rat. Kind of salvaged it.
Yeah. Looking away from then the most popular heroes and some other honourable mentions, perhaps. Do you guys have any love for Ancient Apparition? Because there's a hero that I flirt with sometimes. The ult's very fun to use, and if you get a combo in lane, it can be really strong. Is there anything more to be said about it than that? Is it just is it the most situational 5 ever? Given that the ult needs enemy heroes to be good against specific enemy heroes, and Cold Feet needs lane partners that will combo with it, and outside of that the hero is just really bad.
I don't know, I like the W. Very good vision, and it's an underrated ability in a fight. It's one of those things that does a lot of damage that people don't attribute it to.
Don't appreciate, yeah.
The true like, 5 knowing about vision.
The $6 million Echo Slam. It's like, why did that do a lot of damage? I mean, yes, they were all next to one another when he echoed, but also there was a Ice Vortex on top of them that amped everything.
Yeah, 30%. That's a lot. There's a lot of percents right there.
Yeah, but I know. I think you kind of nailed it. You're not going to be hitting a lot of blind or like across the map skill shots. The higher up you go, it's more how... I don't know, dude. I don't think a lot of people picked a combo with Cold Feet. So a lot of times he annoys you with that E now, which can be kind of obnoxious to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, his spells 1 to 3, they've got merit, but they're not high impact at all. Whatever position you are. So it feels like the hero has to be picked when the ult is A, can synergize with other spells and land, and then B, has extra value to the ult because of whatever matchup, like healers they have on the enemy team, like an IO or whatever. It feels like his other spells are a bit too lackluster to stand on their own. If you look in the win rates this week, Divine Immortal, it says 7% pick rate, which is not that low, it's kind of middle, but only a 46.7% win rate this week, so yeah. And the other tiers it's doing fine, like 52 plus. But yeah, I guess in a more of a clinical game, it can become useless and low impact.
Any love for some of the other, I don't want to say unpopular because they're still picked a lot, but not the most popular 5s? Your Warlocks, your Vengeful Spirits, heroes like that, or any others that you could think of? Undying. Undying's got a good win rate in top Immortal games.
I've really never been a fan of Undying, and it can have good win rates, and it gets picked quite often. I feel like you see it quite often in pro games. I don't think you see it in pubs, because who wants to play Undying 5? It seems just a...
I love Undying. What are you talking about?
So... Adam's one of a kind. It feels just a bit too dry and useless, and, again, hard to make impact. I feel like you really have to have the ideal game to get impact.
That is an underrated level 2. you might be the strongest level 2 hero in the game in a creep wave.
Tusk, come on.
You get that decay into Soul Rip, and someone's like, where did my health... Like, I just took 300 damage out of nowhere. Instant speed, just explode. But I'm that we've already established I'm kind of a sadist. I kind of like, it's like, oh, this hero steals strength. Like, this hero eats creeps. Like, that's the kind of mechanics I think are fun. It's like, oh, look at this strength hero that came to lane. Now you can't do as much damage and you have way less health.
I've just dived back into a random ranked game that I played on Undying, and this... I've picked out 2 gems here. I picked out the Adam AA mid, and I've picked out an Undying game where I'm playing 5 Undying. I'm 9, 10, and 26. I've got Greaves, Crimson, Blade Mail, Cloak flying. I've got Marco playing Puck mid, 8, 10, and 27. So we've got the same kill involvement, same deaths. I've got 1 more kill than him. And he's got, Ags, Travels, Yules, Hex, Blink. This is a long game. We managed to win. We get carried by a Luna, I guess, with 30k net worth, but Marco not pulling his weight on mid-puck, getting carried by my Undying 5 in ranks. Something's never changed.
Yeah, I'm happy to not say Undying.
Yeah, I agree with you, though. I think it's not just that the hero has to be good in the lane, because this is a lane dominating hero. It's like why you pick it, right? Pretty much, you pick it for that and Tombstone, I suppose. But it also
the
needs
Flesh Golem's good too.
Yeah, the Flesh Golem's good,
damage
for sure. The thing that I'm worried about with Undying is you get in a game where he doesn't farm because he doesn't farm. It goes into the mid game, it goes later, and you're just sort of useless. And games that pubs, I think, are going longer, at least in my experience. It's not a particularly Undying friendly meta unless you've specifically gone down this Beastmaster Lycan route, which plenty of teams do. Outside of that, I'm not sure I'd want to see it, just because your impact falls off on Undying, unlike some other 5s that, well, obviously all 5s fall off their impact as the game progresses, but not as hard as Undying. Because you don't farm and you have no stun. So
yeah, pub mantra of stuns and disables, and you can't go wrong with those. Yeah, Undying obviously has none.
5 OD, 5 Winter Wyvern. Where are these other heroes coming in?
5 Winter Wyvern is seriously undervalued by the whole population of Dota. I'm like, fucking first pick that in pro games, come on. Pub scene, obviously a first pick for me. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just so good. So high impact, it's insane.
Yeah. I'm happy to leave it at that. It is high impact. I don't have a lot to say about it because I don't see it very often, and I never play it myself. 2 heroes that are picked a lot, though, Dazzle and Disruptor. They're just below the upper echelons of your CMs and Witch Doctors in terms of pick rate. Adam, how do you feel about these 2 heroes as we try and complete and name check every POS 5?
Yeah, Disruptor's good. He's a 5 though?
It can be goes to 5, but it's very much conditional on your skill build.
Well, the E is great. It gives vision and holds things in. I think vision's very important right now, especially when you're trying to deal with something like a Monkey King in the trees, and then you can, glimpse things back, since movement is everything moves so fast now. And then, before BKBs, your Static Storm is one of the better support ults in the game. And then Ags late game is, very strong.
It's an incredible hero, I think, defensively, which is a weird thing to say because everyone knows that aggressively you're catching heroes. Glimpse, incredible spell for that. But in certain situations, and I guess I said defensively, I mean more as a bait, it's the ultimate sort of punishing hero. if you ever try and fight up a high ground without vision, if you ever try and smoke without vision, these are things that happen all the time in pubs. Disruptor can punish you so hard for stuff like that. You know, all the heroes appear, try and gank your carry out of nowhere. And then you if you're ready, if your team's ready, and you drop a big ult and a big static field, a kinetic field rather, that's an insta-1 team fight. And so I feel like Disruptor can be so punishing. And a Glimpse is another really punishing spell. If the enemies ever miscalculate a fight and they're on the run,
I think
it's over.
I think people don't give Disruptor enough credit, and they generally play too passive and defensive and kind of pos 5 minded when on that hero. Whereas, like you say, I think you can be playing the hero and really looking out for the enemy making a mistake or being out of position or running into the wrong area, and you being able to catch them off guard with, like you say, big ultimate, or you can catch people out with the glimpses, like high ground hold. You can do big impact with kind of catching them with your ult and static fields. So, but I feel like most people probably don't view the hero in that way, and so don't get as much value out of it as they could. We had a pos 5 Disruptor in our sad game we lost in party ranked. And I remember watching one team fight on the replay, and again, the Disruptor, there's kind of 3 heroes on our mid tier 3. Him and Schlarda just hesitate for about a second, and that second is 3 heroes on our high ground versus 3 heroes just at the bottom of the ramp. And if you go that second early and you catch them with a blink stun kinetic field whilst the position just at the top of the ramp, 3-man field, 3-man storm, they're really choked on the ramp, like, whoa, major impact. Catching people out makes me think about the last time I played Disruptor. I remember getting the Dream Classic play where the enemy has a storm. That bitch fucking goes on you thinking it's a free kill, and you just drop the storm on your body, the ultimate, and catch them out, and it's play potential. Glimpses, go. You're finding kills for your team that it just cannot exist without Glimpse because it's such a strong spell. Final comment on Disruptor. If you're level 8 and do not have at least level 3 Glimpse, you cannot take any credit for winning the game. You deserve none of the credit. You deserve no MMR if you're level 8 and do not have at least level 3 Glimpse. They're my conditions. Because that was what I said at the start.
That's fine.
If you're a pos 5 Disruptor and you're not getting at least level 3 Glimpse, some people might not bother with 4. If you don't have level 3 Glimpse, you're not a hero in my eyes, and you're so useless. And
I know to always get points in Glimpse when I'm playing Disruptor with Marco, because I know that's a pet peeve for sure.
People honestly use his spells really bad. I think I don't know why. Maybe people are unfamiliar. Maybe it's a hard hero, but I honestly feel like if I've ever seen Disruptor played, people do the shittest blinks, glimpses, and they just don't even bother trying to use the ult in an intelligent way. And honestly, I think the hero's fucking like not giving enough credit by the way it's played.
QEQ max glimpse with a point with the ult at 6.
Would you even bother with a static at 2?
Sometimes it's good. I mean, if you have a hero like a monkey with you or something.
Yeah, that's true.
It just depends.
It is the highest damage dealing level 1 spell, I believe.
That's what they say.
That's what it used to be. So yeah, I don't mind going 2-1 if you needed to just keep that pos 4 at bay in the lane, say, and then level 4-5, you're getting your glimpse and whatnot. Yeah, a lot of potential.
Yeah, nice. I can't remember if there was only the Dazzle to name check, and then, to discuss, I suppose. Is Dazzle a better mid than a 5? Because I honestly feel like he's better mid than 5. I know he's a situational mid laner, but I mean, he can work in a 5. That's way too harsh, actually. But you don't see it very often.
The W's pretty good.
W is good. The W is very good. But outside of that, the hero just feels a little bit off. And this new ult, Bad Juju, the cooldown reduction and It's armor reduction in... Oh, it's every time he casts a spell, all nearby enemies will have their armor reduced by 2.5, which is alright, but Weave is just cooler than when it was Weave. And if you ever fought at the end of Weave duration, you were just... It was like minus 20 armor or something like that. That was where it was at. And now the bad juju, I almost feel like with 50 cooldown reduction, you want to be mid and you want to have Greaves and Hex and fun stuff like that.
Necrobook. Yeah,
Necrobook, yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about it as a 3. As a 5 anymore. There's just I feel like there's heroes that are better than Dazzle at everything.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Feels like an old school 5 where, it's got a heal, therefore it's a 5. But then slowly over time, the heroes changed and understanding has improved, and it's like, okay, let's not bother playing this as a 5. Far better choices out there.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the 5 metagame as a whole, or indeed the metagame as a whole in general? Any 5s on the list?
I want to play Coddle and pump one of you 2 full of mana.
Nice.
If you play Cottage, I want you to pump stacks for my Battle Fury Juggernaut.
Okay, but also I
that.
can pump you full of mana so you can spin.
Yeah, spin to win.
Nah, forget that. Play Cottle 4. I'll do Bristleback 3. That's so much more fun than stacking.
It is a lot of fun, and I can trust you to press W.
Yeah.
Last time I picked that, my teammate didn't want to press W, and I'm like, what have I done? Like, this is...
That's an unfortunate problem to have when you're playing Bristleback, is inability to press W. That is maybe one of the worst sort of problems you can have on the hero, is a W button that doesn't work on your keyboard.
The final shout out to Pods 5 is just to use your spells in the lane, and your lane will go better than if you didn't use your spells. So I'm not even memeing anymore. I'm getting worn down by these hundreds of games just watching position 5s, not bother.
I would give a shout out to position 5 Treant Protector, because if you know what you're doing, that can be a ridiculously annoying hero. Shout out to Alchemist Pos 5 with the Shard. Shout out to Tinker Pos 5 with the Shard. Rearm, give everyone a million.
Shout out to Griefers, is that what you're saying?
I'm just getting the shout outs out there so people pick it more, so it's less of a grief when I pick it.
I can't wait to see that show up on my Overwatch queue.
Oh my god.
Just review this.
Yeah, I would also... Moment for Huskar 5. So Burning Spear, you can't trade with him, so already you're just winning trades. And then you get Aghanim Shard, albeit it's 20 minutes, so you get a cheeky whatever, some support item in the meantime. We don't care about that. What we do care about, though, is Inner Fire reducing healing and regeneration by 50%, applying a 40% slow, and obviously it disarms. So Huskar 5. That's coming to another Overwatch near you.
But what about the Ags? You just turn into a taunt.
Yeah, and a 3-second taunt.
Yeah.
Huskar 5, I'm almost taught myself into it. It started as a meme, and now I actually want to play it.
Okay, well, sorry, Marco. No more Coddle. I'm going to play my Huskar 5.
Yeah, Huskar 5. If you really want to tilt Marco, is pick Lion 5. I think that's what I might do next time.
Really?
I'm supporting.
I think... What's wrong with Lion 5?
What do you mean, what's wrong with Lion 5?
Everything?
I mean, yeah, we complain that Lion 5 is bad, and yes, it's relatively bad, but at least it's got a stun in the guy.
A stun that does 0 damage.
I don't even need damage, I just need some lockdown and we're good to go. You just need
spells.
Yeah, just stuns, disable someone, and we're good to go. Yeah,
well, there you go. An episode on Pods 5, and we didn't even mention Silencer frauds. And join us again next week, where who knows what we'll be talking about. I know there's been a request made for a Back to Basics episode where we talk about units and stuff like that. I'm a little bit hesitant to do that because, one, it involves more research than we've done for about 2 years on the podcast. And then also, it's difficult. I don't know how much content it is discussing unit distances and stuff. I was thinking about working out, AA blast, the further away you throw the tracer, the quicker it is to reach the target. So if you do it, right in front of you, the actual blast comes out slowly, and if you do it across the map, the blast's like very quick by the time you do the tracer.
It takes the same amount of time to reach the endpoint regardless of how far away it is.
Right. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I was thinking, how far away would you have to throw the tracer for the eye shard to travel at the speed of light? Geographically speaking. Like, if I threw an eye shard from where I am now in the UK, and I don't know, threw it to like South Africa, the tracer, would it go at the speed of light? I'm sure that's like really easy to work out, but in my Dota monkey brain, that I thought that was worth pondering. I guess it's easy to find out now. You just find out.
It'd be in the space, right?
Yeah, it must be into space. You just need to find out how far light travels in. How long does it take? Should be written here on the tooltip.
It's basically 300,000 kilometers a second.
What, light speed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was trying to find out
and
how long it takes.
And the tracer is like 1.2 seconds or something?
Is it 1.2 seconds for
I don't know.
the Ice Blaster list?
I'm guessing it's something around that.
Yeah.
Might be a little longer.
Well,
but that's pretty far. So
yeah, that is very far.
It'd have to go into space because that's many times greater the circumference of the Earth.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't actually know, but
I don't know either. I think so. With my PhD, yikes!
Slap on the back to anyone in Discord that comes forward with that. I'll send you loads of sets. I'll send you like 4 sets, but they'll all be bad. I'll send you a Treasure of the Trapper's Pelt and Shark Reef Escape and Sculptor's Pillar 2005. Whoa. That's what's on the line. I'll even throw in a Vanquished. Wait, that's a mythical. Okay, forget that. I'll throw in a Hallowed Chest of the Diatide as well. There you go. So have that.
Big
fraudster.
Big guy over here.
Yeah, this has gone off the rails now.
Final comment from me?
Absolutely.
I don't mean when I say mechanics and last hit and using spells are really important. I demonstrate this because what I'm going to do after this, I'm playing a bot game as Juggernaut to practice my farm. And I'm not even kidding. Don't have time for a game, but I want to practice my farm on Juggernaut, so I'm going to go hit creeps against bots. I'm not joking.
How are you going to do
Insane
that?
bots.
What's your plan?
What do you mean my plan? Picking pos 1 Jug?
So are you going to... No hero interactions. You're playing against bots.
Oh yeah, no hero interactions. Yeah,
and you're just trying to max farm without hitting any heroes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did the insane bots still try to deny? I haven't played a bot game in years.
I believe so, but my last hit's too good.
Bots. What's it called? Bot scripts. I've downloaded one. Ranked matchmaking AI. Don't know what that means.
Oh, is it just improved bots?
Yeah, I think so. I believe so.
Maybe that could have been better. Being briefed by Louis Bot, picked PA when I picked Jug, ? But yeah, no, that's genuine PSA of mechanics matter. And I was thinking about it recently, and I do think if you get better at mechanics, you can climb to like the 75, maybe like 65 at least percentile, just by focusing on mechanics and nothing more intricate, like, if not higher. But that's just a PSA if you want to climb.
Well, yeah.
Personal thoughts.
I'd say higher.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's so hard to say because it depends what the baseline we're assuming is. Do you know what I mean? It's like you obviously can't win by exclusively hitting creeps. Like at a point, you have to like use a spell and stuff.
But in terms of like, say if one of us went to smurf a really low ranked game, we're going to stomp it for a multitude of reasons. But if you just played the most basic, simple even slower paced game that you could to just really whittle down the factors, and you hit creeps well, and you use your spells when they were obviously out of position, and you just cast them more frequently, or just put yourself in a place to use your spells. Those mechanics seriously will go a very long way. More than kind of understanding the interactions in the game and understanding synergies and metas and things like this.
Definitely. 100% on that. And even just team fights, fighting skirmishes, if you're just way ahead in farm because you've got better mechanics. That's going to take you further than... Everyone's going to use spells. Some are going to use them better than others. Obviously, the top Immortal players use spells way, way, way more optimally than lower ranked players. But if you take a random pub game in some random bracket like Archon game or something, people are all going to use their spells at like some kind of mediocre level. But if you're able to outfarm because you've got better mechanics, you sort of transcend that struggle.
I think it's a bad assumption to say they'll use spells. It's not even a matter of how well you're using them. And I remember someone making a comment that they thought lower ranks did use spells, but just really poorly. And I remember thinking, well, it's kind of hard to kind of prove or disprove this. Like, what do I think about this? And over time, I remember this comment was made like a year or so ago by some Discorder or random listener. Over time, I've really come to the conclusion that using spells frequency is seriously under par. Never mind how optimal and calculated they are, just using them frequency is seriously under par.
So you're saying don't focus on mechanics, focus on spellcasting?
Well, spell casting and last hit creeps. Depends what role you are, right?
I think that's fair.
Anyway, off to play the bot game. Get the mechanics going.
Luck.
Yeah.
Good luck with your bot game, yeah. We'll see you off with a final whistle.